Have you ever asked yourself, why after turning 60, your legs feel heavier, your lower back starts to ache, and intimacy just isn't what it used to be? Statistics show over 70% of men over 60 start their day the wrong way, and it's silently cutting off blood flow to the lower body without them even realizing it. The truth is, it's not about aging. It's about your breakfast, how the very first thing you eat might be draining your energy the moment you wake up. At minute 3 of this video, I'll reveal 7 simple foods already in your kitchen that can help reactivate circulation and restore your vitality in just a few weeks. Don't miss it, because starting the day wrong can cost you more than just energy. I'm Dr. Thomas Blake, a physician with over 30 years of experience treating and advising men's health, especially for those over 60. In my years of practice, I've seen many men begin to feel tired, lose drive, and struggle with confidence, especially in the mornings. The issue isn't just age. It's often the result of poor choices right after waking up. And the biggest one? Your breakfast. In this video, I'll walk you through clinical evidence and practical nutrition tips to help improve blood flow, boost energy, and support male function, naturally, scientifically, and safely. Have you ever looked at a plate of steamed broccoli and wondered if that little vegetable could actually change your life? Sounds simple, maybe even silly to some people. But for me, as a doctor who's walked alongside thousands of men over 50 across the U.S. for more than 30 years, I can tell you this. It's not as simple as it looks. Let me tell you about James, a 68-year-old patient from Arizona. James used to be an engineer, a strong, confident man, until age and lifestyle quietly started draining his energy. "Doc," he told me, "I feel like I shut down every morning, my body and the parts I'm not proud to talk about." Have you ever felt like that? Tired body, cold feet, and an emptiness you can't quite explain? Instead of prescribing meds, I asked him one question. What does your breakfast look like? He laughed. You're not going to like the answer. Pastries, coffee, or sometimes nothing at all. Then I told him, start your day with steamed broccoli. Drizzle a spoon of extra virgin olive oil on top. That's it. Why broccoli? Because it's not just a veggie. It's a natural hormone balancer. Inside, it holds a compound called indole 3-carbinol, which helps men over 60 flush out excess estrogen and naturally rebalance testosterone. You might not notice it right away, but your body will. Clearer mind, deeper sleep, that quiet sense of control coming back. And that's not all. Broccoli is also rich in sulforaphane, a powerful antioxidant that helps clean out your blood vessels, like unclogging the back roads that haven't been used in years. Circulation to your legs, lower back, and yes, even your private areas starts to improve. You feel warmer, sharper, more confident. And it all begins with a food most people ignore on their plate. But don't forget, add that spoon of extra virgin olive oil, not just for flavor, but to activate the full absorption of all the good stuff broccoli brings. Skip the oil, and the benefits drop by half. 6 weeks later, James came back. He walked into the clinic. Shoulders back, color in his face, voice strong. "Doc," he said, "I didn't think broccoli could save my mornings and my nights too." I smiled. You see, sometimes change doesn't start in a clinic. It starts with a plate of steamed greens, a spoonful of oil, and a man willing to begin again with his breakfast. So the question is, tomorrow morning, are you willing to try it? Now, I want you to picture a quiet morning. You're standing in your kitchen, warm water filling your cup, and 2 soft-boiled eggs resting gently on a plate. Sound simple? Maybe. But sometimes, it's the simple things that turn out to be the best medicine for a man's body after 60. I once had a patient named Michael, 71 years old, living in Wisconsin. He used to be a truck driver, spent decades on the road across America, but in retirement, he told me, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. I still eat, I still sleep, but it's like my body's disconnected, especially down there. It's like I've gone numb." Michael's story isn't rare. When men cross 60, the pelvic nervous system, responsible for sensation, blood flow, and sexual function, starts to slow down. And that's when whole eggs show up. Not flashy, not loud, just quietly powerful. Eggs, especially the yolk, contain a nutrient called choline, something our bodies stop producing enough of after 50. Choline is like a neural wire. It helps restore sensation, sharpen the signals, and improve sexual function naturally, without forcing anything. I remember telling Michael, start your day with 2 eggs. Boiled, fried, or steamed, doesn't matter. Just eat them within 1 hour of waking up. 3 weeks later, he called me. I still remember the tone in his voice. Surprised, a little emotional. Doc, I swear, yesterday I felt something again. It was like my body flipped a switch. But it's not just about choline. Eggs are also packed with vitamin D, which keeps your blood vessels healthy and flexible, especially the tiny ones in the lower body we often ignore. After 60, our natural vitamin D drops, which increases the risk of blockages, poor circulation, even erectile issues. That little egg, it might just be the soft key that reopens the circulation you thought was gone forever. And the best part? Eggs aren't expensive. They're not rare. They're probably already in your kitchen. You don't need luxury fixes. You just need the right choices, made consistently with patience. So, if you're standing in the kitchen tomorrow morning, wondering what to eat, think of Michael and ask yourself, how long has his body been waiting to be fueled the right way? Maybe it's time to answer with 2 eggs and a brand new beginning. There's a kind of performance booster out there, no prescription needed, no side effects, and it might be sitting right now on the bottom shelf of your fridge. Watermelon. Sounds ordinary, right? But let me tell you the story of Ronald, a 66-year-old from Texas. He used to be a high school baseball coach. Active, loved sports, until one day, he started feeling like something just wasn't the same. Doc, he told me, I feel slow. My hands and feet are freezing, and, well, nothing down there really works anymore. I asked him, do you have watermelon at home? He laughed. Of course. My wife buys it all the time. But I always cut off the white part. Doesn't taste like much. And that was the problem. Watermelon, especially that white part we usually toss, is loaded with L-citrulline, a natural compound that's incredibly important. Once inside your body, L-citrulline converts into L-arginine, which then boosts your body's production of nitric oxide, the chemical that relaxes blood vessels and increases blood flow exactly where you need it most. Put simply, nitric oxide is what medications like Viagra work on. But instead of using a pill, you can spark that same natural process with just a few slices of watermelon on an empty stomach. Surprisingly simple. I told Ronald to eat a few slices of watermelon, flesh and a bit of that white rind, every morning before breakfast. If he didn't like chewing it, blend it into a smoothie. No sugar. Don't throw away the rind. 3 days later, he texted me, Doc, I'm not sure if it's a watermelon, but something is waking up again. 2 weeks later, he called, this time with excitement in his voice. I'm back to jogging. And last night, my wife said I felt younger again. I just smiled. It wasn't me. It was the watermelon and nitric oxide doing their job. This isn't magic. It's basic biology when your body is fueled the right way. So if you open a fridge tomorrow morning, don't overlook that juicy red fruit or that pale white rind people usually throw away. Because sometimes what you need most is hiding in the part everyone else ignores. I still remember my first appointment with Mr. Samuel, 72 years old, from Oregon. He walked into the clinic with cold hands and a sadness in his eyes he couldn't quite hide. Doc, he said, I don't feel much of anything anymore from the soles of my feet to, well, other places. Then he sat down, hesitated a bit, and asked, is aging just taking everything away? I looked at him and asked, what do you eat in the morning? He sighed. Box cereal. It's sweet easy. I thought it wasn't too bad. But the truth is, it was worse than he thought. So many men over 60 start their day with sugary, quick, convenient foods. But what they don't realize is that these foods silently trigger inflammation inside the blood vessels. That's where it starts. Poor circulation. And in areas like the feet, lower back, and yes, down there, start losing healthy blood flow. No sensation, no energy, and slowly no sense of self. I suggested Samuel try something simple and classic. Oatmeal, not the instant kind. Real oats, cooked with water or unsweetened milk, topped with a spoonful of chia seeds. Why oatmeal? Because it's rich in beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that helps clean out the walls of blood vessels, like wiping away years of buildup inside the pipes. And chia seeds? They're tiny but packed with omega-3s, magnesium, and potassium, the golden trio that helps reduce inflammation, relax blood vessels, and get circulation moving again. I also suggested sprinkle a little cinnamon, maybe add some frozen blueberries. Naturally sweet, heart-healthy, and surprisingly delicious. 2 weeks later, Samuel came back, looking different. He told me he'd been walking every morning. His hands and feet felt warm again. And then he said something I'll never forget. "Doc, for the first time in a while, I feel like the blood in my body has rhythm again. No pills, no miracles, just one warm bowl of oats, a spoonful of chia, and a man who decided to change." So what about you? Tomorrow morning, if you want to start over, gently but powerfully, start with that first spoonful. Some mornings, you wake up and your legs feel like they don't belong to you. You swing them off the bed, grab onto the edge just to stay steady, and brace yourself to stand. If you ever felt that way, know this: you're not alone. And here's the good news. Sometimes something as simple as a steamed sweet potato can begin to change that. I remember an old patient, Mr. Thomas, 71, from Colorado. He lived simply, ate fairly well, but every morning he'd wake up rubbing his calves, complaining of hip aches, feeling like the blood just wasn't flowing fast enough. "Doc," he said, "it takes me nearly 20 minutes just to walk normal in the morning. Is there any way, besides painkillers?" I nodded and told him, "Try half a steamed sweet potato first thing in the morning, before your main meal. Add a pinch of Celtic salt, then wait and let your body respond." Why sweet potato? Because it's one of the best natural sources of slow-digesting carbs. Gives you steady energy without sugar spikes. It supplies glycogen, which is the exact fuel your muscles need in the morning, especially in tight, numb areas like your legs, hips, or lower back. And what about Celtic salt? Unlike regular table salt, Celtic salt contains over 80 trace minerals, magnesium, calcium, potassium, all of which are critical after 60. They help your nerves fire correctly, keep blood vessels flexible, and restore circulation and sensation in places that have gone quiet. Just a pinch, but it acts like a key that resets the body's electrolyte balance. 2 weeks later, Thomas called back. He sounded lighter, not because the pain was completely gone, but because he stood up that morning without needing to grab onto anything. "Doc," he said, "it's just sweet potato and a bit of salt. But today I stepped out onto my porch. No heavy breathing, no grabbing the wall. I felt strong, lighter. That's what I want you to feel again. Not like your 20-year-old self, but in control, not dependent on pills, not afraid of getting out of bed. So tomorrow morning, if you're still searching for steadier steps, let sweet potato and a pinch of Celtic salt lead the way. And who knows, you just might stand tall again, like you used to. If you tried all kinds of so-called healthy foods, and you're wondering, so which one's the strongest? Which one actually helps me build back muscle, boost circulation, and feel like a man again? Then here's my answer. Whole eggs and watermelon, when combined the right way, are the ultimate combo for men over 60. Let me tell you about Albert, 75 years old, living in Florida, a retired carpenter, living a quiet life by the coast with his wife. He didn't come to see me because he was sick. He came in because he felt like he was fading. "Doc," he said, "I'm not in pain, but I just don't feel strong anymore. Not like I used to." I looked at his lifestyle, his breakfast habits, and asked a simple question. Every morning you eat cereal, drink coffee, but have you ever tried eggs and watermelon together? He laughed. "Those two together? That sounds weird." But it's that weird combo that activates two of the most important systems in the male body, nervous, and circulatory. And let's not forget hormones. Eggs, as I've said before, are packed with choline and vitamin D, essential for pelvic nerve health, sensory recovery, and vascular strength. Meanwhile, watermelon triggers natural nitric oxide production, widening blood vessels and pushing blood flow deep into the microvessels of your lower body, reawakening areas that have been silent for too long. One food rewires the nerves. The other pumps the fuel through the system. Together, it's like a full-body recharge, fast, deep, and natural. I told Albert, first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, eat 2 hard-boiled eggs with the yolks. Then have a few slices of fresh watermelon. Don't skip the white part near the rind. If easier, blend it all into a smoothie. No sugar, just pure fuel. 10 days later, he came back, walking steadier. I'm sleeping better, he said. My legs aren't cold anymore. And my wife, she's been smiling all morning. That's what I believe. Your body can come back to life if you give it the right fuel. So tomorrow morning, if you're tired of pills, tired of feeling like you're fading, try Albert's breakfast and see what wakes up inside you. Some things are so small, we often overlook them. A key that slips behind a drawer, a sentence we stop halfway, and a few walnuts sitting quietly in a bag, never really considered important. But you know what? It's often the small things that open the biggest doors to better health, better circulation, and even the return of your strength as a man over 60. I once treated Mr. Harvey, 68 years old, living in Pennsylvania. A quiet man, always seemed healthy, until he admitted something had changed. Doc, he told me, I feel like the blood inside me has slowed down. No clear illness, but I just don't feel truly alive anymore. I asked him, have you ever tried eating walnuts in the morning? He looked at me like I'd asked something strange. But then I explained, walnuts are rich in L-arginine, an amino acid naturally produced by your body. It's the precursor to nitric oxide, the very molecule that helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and boost sexual function in men. But there's more. Walnuts also contain plant-based omega-3s, specifically ALA, which helps reduce inflammation in blood vessels and improves endothelial function. That's a thin lining inside your arteries, the gatekeeper for smooth blood flow. I told him, each morning, eat 5 to 7 walnuts. Chew slowly. No salt, not roasted. You can eat them plain or toss them into your oatmeal. Either way works. No need to overthink it. No need to do anything fancy. 3 weeks later, Mr. Harvey messaged me. Doc, I feel like I'm starting to rev up again. Less tingling in my legs. Mind's clearer, too. And the science backs it up. Recent clinical studies show that men over 60 who eat walnuts daily for 4 weeks experience notable improvements in circulation and vascular health. Science has spoken, but it's real stories like Harvey's that say it best. So, tomorrow morning, if you're wondering what else to eat to boost your blood flow, try a few walnuts. Small, yes, but powerful. Just like your body, when given the right care. I've come to understand one thing. After 60, we don't have the patience for long-winded advice that doesn't work in real life. What we need is something specific, simple, doable, and still powerful enough to improve our health from the inside out. So instead of having you figure out how to build your own breakfast routine, I put together a 5-day breakfast plan, fast, nutritious, and each meal takes less than 10 minutes to prepare. Day 1. Clean your arteries, kickstart circulation. A bowl of warm oats, a spoonful of chia seeds, a handful of blueberries, and 5 walnuts. This breakfast nourishes blood vessels and calms down silent inflammation. Perfect for mornings when you want to start slow, but strong. Day 2. Restore muscles and sensitivity. 2 boiled eggs with the yolks and a slice of fresh watermelon. This combo is like repairing your nerves and opening the blood flow to the lower body. Eat it early on an empty stomach for maximum impact. Day 3. Stabilize blood sugar and fuel lasting energy. Half a steamed sweet potato, lightly sprinkled with Celtic salt. Served with a small bowl of steamed broccoli. Great for those who wake up feeling unsteady, cold feet, or numb legs in the morning. Day 4. Combine the power duo. Back to the energy combo. 2 boiled eggs plus a few slices of watermelon plus 3 to 4 walnuts. If you got a meeting, a trip, or just want to feel alert and energized all day, this is a go-to meal I always recommend. Day 5, detox and fight inflammation through the entire vascular system. A slow-cooked bowl of oats with blueberries, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, and a spoon of extra virgin olive oil. The olive oil helps absorb all the antioxidants while keeping your blood vessels clean and smooth. By the time you've reached the end of this video, I hope one simple truth has become clear. It's not expensive pills or exotic superfoods that help us hold on to our strength and vitality after 60. It's 7 familiar choices: broccoli, whole eggs, watermelon, oats with chia, sweet potatoes with Celtic salt, and a few walnuts. That's it. Enough to wake up your nerves, fuel blood flow, rebuild muscle, and calm silent inflammation from the inside out. The real key isn't complexity. It's consistency. Each morning, within an hour of waking, that golden window when your blood vessels and hormones are most receptive, put one of those 5 meals on the table. Repeat it day after day, and little by little, your body will begin to mend the cracks that time left behind. Your feet warm up, your back loosens, your breath deepens, and the reflection in the mirror starts to feel a little more like you again. Now, I won't promise miracles overnight, but I do trust the feedback from thousands of men across America who've tried this and started seeing changes within just 3 or 4 weeks. They didn't reverse aging like some ad might say. They simply began living their later years more clearly, more steadily, more in control. So before you leave this video, I want to invite you to sit with one thought for just 1 more minute. 1. What's really stopping you from spending 10 minutes each morning preparing a breakfast that could change your entire day? 2. If the numbness, poor sleep, or lack of confidence were cut in half after 3 weeks, what's the very first thing you do with that new energy? 3. And finally, are you willing to share your journey, whether it's a win or a struggle, so that other men watching this can find the courage to keep going? Let's make the comments section a place where this conversation grows. Your body has waited long enough to be cared for the right way. Now's the time to answer it back.